everyone, my name is Kat, the Fairy Librarian, and welcome back to a new reading vlog. It is now Thursday, and I just want to go ahead and start the vlog now because I finished something I started today and finished it today because it's not very long. It's a comic and it's Armance, which is the first volume issue. I'm not sure what the term is in English, but the first unit in the Marie of the Dragons series, which is a I'll call it volumes, 5 volumes. It's an adult fantasy, like sword and sorcery type story. It's historical fantasy set in France in the, what century is it? I'm not sure. They mentioned some historical figures, so I could look that up. But it's late medieval anyway. And it's about Marie, who is an assassin. And she gets hired to do a very dangerous task. I won't really go into it too much because this is very much a volume, like a setting up thing for like the story to really happen in the next 4 volumes. But I like this. It's as I said, it's set up for the most part, so it's not a favorite just yet. Like, I would need a bit more time, but I did enjoy it. The art style, okay, I'm very picky when it comes to art styles in graphic novels and comics and stuff. I really love how like the settings are depicted and the backgrounds, and especially when we're in nature, I love how that looks, but I don't enjoy how the characters themselves are depicted. I'll see if I can find a good example that doesn't spoil anything. If you see here, I don't love that. I can't really say what about it is I'm not enjoying, but it's not my favorite, but obviously that's very subjective. So your mileage may vary, but I'll try and show you. Like, this is the very first panel. Like, look, that's really pretty. So I do like aspects of it. The story itself is it's not mind-blowing so far, but it's fun. Again, it'll take me like a little bit more time to really get invested in all the characters, but I'm sure that'll be fine in the second volume of this. One thing I did really like, so they had a couple of times where there were 2 scenes that were happening simultaneously, and it would alternate between them really quickly. And I think that was done really well in this. I can't really show it because it's more at the end of the book, so that would probably spoil it, but they would really play with color in that. So one of them would be drawn with a lot of like very warm tones, and one of them more cold tones or something like that. So it was always immediately clear which story we're in, even though it would be like literally one panel and we switch, and then one panel and we switch again, and so it was like really rapidly changing. But that really worked out. Yeah, I liked it, but I don't love it because, as I said, it's very much set up for the rest of the series. And I don't think the beginning of a book is never my favorite part. So, but I will definitely continue on with this series, and I think it can turn into something that I really enjoy. I do want to say there is some sexual content in it, so it's definitely adult. Also some misogyny by the characters. I don't think that's the narrative who does that, but be aware going into it if you want to pick it up. So I started and finished that today. I am still reading Winter by Marissa Meyer. I'm really enjoying this. Yeah, it's really tense, and I'm having a great time with this. I'm also still reading Unseelie by Ivelisse Housman, which I am also really enjoying. But my priority for now is going to be Dreaming the Eagle by Manda. I am almost halfway. It doesn't, like, it seems a bit not half, but there's some, like, an author's note and a pronunciation guide and stuff in the back. So you need to take a few pages out of the back. I'm really liking this. I'm in the second part. I'm almost finished with the second part. I think I'll finish part 2 today. Part 2 is definitely more readable than part 1. I enjoyed part 1, but I definitely do think that part 2 is more easy to get through and a bit more engaging, and I just want to keep reading it versus in the first part, like I'd read 10 pages and be like, okay, I'm gonna do something else now, versus this one I can read a bit longer. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm gonna read a bit more of this now, actually, but that's what I'm reading. And I will see you again when I have an update on something. Bye. Hi, it is now Friday, and I want to do another update because yesterday was a very heartbreaking day in terms of reading. First read some Dreaming the Eagle, and I'm a little bit over halfway. Just something really sad has happened, and I'm a little heartbroken now. I'm really enjoying it. It's a really beautiful story, but my heart is broken. So I took a break from this because I couldn't go on with this just then. So I switched to Unseelie by Ivelisse Housman, and I want to talk about that. So I've started. I don't annotate physical books because most of my physical books are from the library anyway, and then annotating is not really ideal and very nice to other people who want to read that book. But ebooks I do annotate because the annotations just get deleted when you when it's returned to the library. So I do annotate there. And I follow Reading Nymph, who is also a booktuber, and she also annotates and taps, and she always goes over the things that she taps and the different colors, and I like that because that does say quite a bit about a book. I think just because she makes up a new system for every book as she's reading it. So I want to go over what the different colors mean for me as well. So I'm doing this from memory because I don't have the book with me, so sorry if I forget something. But I use yellow for funny moments or funny lines. There hasn't really been a time where I've been laughing out loud, but everybody feel like that's funny, like that reaction. So that's one tab. Then I have green for relatable autism moments. I'm using a lot of green in the book. It's really good for that. Then I have red for love between sisters, because that was really nice as well, and that's in the book as well. I really like that aspect. Then I have blue for heartbreaking moments, which there also have been a few of those. I came to a point where things just really hit close to home as well. So I'm loving the book. It's great. If things continue the way they are, it has some potential to become a favorite of all time. So I'm really loving it, but sometimes it's just a little hard to read because things just hit so close to home, as I said. So that is a color, and then I think I mentioned all of them. So just to give you an idea of that, yeah, I'm really loving it. It's beautiful, but also sad at times, but also beautiful and wholesome at times. So it's great. I'm really enjoying it. And then I also read a little bit of winter because I got too sad from reading Unseelie because it was too relatable at times. So I put it to winter. I have finished part 4, so about, what is that? 2/3, 3/4, somewhere in between there, I think. Probably more 2/3. I'm also really enjoying this. I love the characters in here. I love them so much. There have been some really beautiful, wholesome moments in it as well. Just to break up all the darkness, which I really like. So yeah, it's great. I'm gonna be like, I want to know what happens, but I'm also gonna be sad when the series is over because I'm loving it so much. So I'm just really happy with everything I'm reading. I'm liking everything. So I'm happy. I need a happy read now. Because there was a lot of sadness yesterday. And then, like, for a happy book to pivot to winter. I don't know if that is ideal, because there is some dark content in it. So I'm just gonna need something very light and fluffy, I think, when I finish one of these books. But I'm really enjoying my time. So that was the update. I'll see you again later. Bye. Hi. It is now Monday. You're not standing very stable, so I'm gonna try to make sure you don't fall, but I can't promise anything. But we're going to try to do this. So I read a bit more of Winter, and one thing I'm really loving is the way this handles a retelling. I've been saying that about in the entire series, but I think that this one does it just a little bit differently than the other ones, and I'm mostly talking about Cinder and Crest because I feel like the retelling part took a bit of a backseat in Scarlet. But in Cinder and Crest, I feel like the story was fairly easy to fit into the retelling, and it was kind of obvious how things were going to fit, but because this is the end of a series, the scope has become so big that it's not always as easy to do that. So Marissa Meyer just had to be a lot more creative with it, I feel, in this one, and I think it's done really well. I really like how sometimes you can see like little details, like, oh, that's this thing from the retelling, and then something else happens and it's, oh, it's that, or this person is that character, and I really like seeing that, like when the pieces fall into place. I think that's really fun. So that's really all I can say about Winter without spoiling anything. But I'm really enjoying it. I am at about 150 pages from the end, so I'm really in the home stretch of the book. And I'm gonna try to finish it in this vlog. I don't know if that will work. Will I be this vlog or early in the next one, but I'm loving this. I also read a bit more of Unseelie by Ivelisse Housman, and I'm really enjoying it. I told you that I got to a part that was really hard to read, but that was like a very short part. That was like 1 or 2 chapters that hit really close to home. But aside from that, it's just been very fun. The plot is not really something that you haven't seen before. It's a quest story. They have to find a treasure, but that's not the point. It's a character study of Seelie, and I love it. It's so, she's so relatable. I've never related to a character more than I have now reading her story. And I love the world. It's so vibrant and fun and colorful, and in that regard it really reminds me of Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. It has the same feeling. The plots are not the same and the characters aren't either, but just the world feels the same, and I really like that. So I'm loving Unseelie. I'm a bit over halfway now, and it's great. I'm loving it. But now I'm going to be continuing Dreaming the Eagle because I am halfway. I haven't read anything since last time I talked to you. I'm halfway, and I would like to finish it this month. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that, but that's my goal. So this is my priority now, and then I have Unseelie when I'm on the go, or I just need a change of pace, and I have Winter right before going to bed because then I don't want to, because this takes a little bit more brain power to get through. so I don't want to be reading it that late at night. But other than that, I'll try to focus on this one. I am enjoying it, but it's just not, as I said, it's not the quickest to get through. It's not the easiest to get through because the writing style is pretty descriptive, because the pacing is on the slower side. So, but I am really enjoying it. So I'm going to be reading just a little bit more of this, and I will talk to you again when I have the new update. Bye. Hi, it is Wednesday, and I'm here to wrap up the vlog for this week. Yesterday evening, I wanted to stay up late to read a big chunk of this, which I kind of did. Like, I read, how much is this? 50 pages. So it's not bad, but it's not as much as I planned to. And the reason for that is because I got like a little tired and I couldn't really focus on this one, because even though I really like it, the writing style, it's a bit more difficult, and sometimes it takes a little while for me to fully get what is going on in it. So it just takes me a bit more time, a bit more brain power to read. But I'm still really enjoying it. I am in a third part, and I can't say what happens because that would spoil things. But yeah, I really like what's happening so far in here. So I'm liking it. I'm still reading that. I hope to finish this this month, because I'm at 200 pages from the end. So I think that should be doable. But I didn't have the brain power to finish, to continue that. And also, I just wanted to read Winter, so I finished it last night. This was so good. It was so good. The ending was really tense, like edge of my seat. And so, you know, when I read Cress in January, I think it was January, I thought that would be my favorite book of the year, and I couldn't imagine any book topping it. That included this one. Now I genuinely don't know which one I like more. I love them both so much. I love Cress, I love Winter, I love Thorn. They're great characters. I wish we got like a little bit more Cress in this one. But you know, I understand why it wasn't there. But just every book could use a bit more Cress. I cried a little at the end, which I never cry with books. Like movies, that happens sometimes, but books, I don't cry with books. I cried in this one, so that's an achievement. But yeah, I loved it. I love found family stories. I love rebellion stories. I love amazing characters, and this had all that and more, and it was amazing. Okay, there is Another book which is like short stories, but I think it's just done in the same world because this really has like an ending of the series. So I don't know if it's the same characters or not. So do I rank the book in the series now or after I've read that? Maybe I just rank them twice. So, okay. Ranking. From least favorite to most favorite. At the bottom goes Scarlet, the second book. Because the retelling element took a bit of a backseat, which is one of the things that I really loved about the series. And also just the plot, and that was my least favorite. But granted, Red Riding Hood has never been my favorite fairy tale anyway. So, that one goes at the bottom. Then, Fairest, the 3.5 prequel novella. Just because it's a villain origin story, which is not a type of story that I care for. Like, of all villain origin stories that I've read, I think this is the best execution of it that I've seen so far, but I still just don't really care about the project of it. So that one goes there. Then Cinder, which was an amazing start to the series. I really enjoyed it, and I was really pleasantly surprised. But it can compete with Cress and Winter. And then 1 and 2. I don't know. I genuinely don't know whether I like Cress or Winter more. I genuinely don't. I've been thinking about this, but I don't know. They're both so good. And I don't want to choose. It feels like choosing between my children, so I'm just gonna cheat and say they're tied for first spot. So that's my ranking. I love this. This is amazing. If you haven't read Lunar Chronicles, I highly recommend. So wrapping up the vlog, I read those two. I also read Armance this week, the first volume in Marie of the Dragons, which I liked, but it was very much set up, so I would need to read the other volumes to really have a strong opinion about it. And I also read Unseelie, which is also amazing. And I'm also loving it, and it's fantastic, and I'm just having such a good time with reading. And now I don't know what to pick up next, because no matter what I pick, it'll only look bad in comparison to this thing, because this was freaking amazing. So I don't know. Anyway, this was the vlog. I'll decide that, and you'll see that in the next vlog, probably, what I decided, or if I decided anything. Maybe I just need like a novella of something as a palette cleanser. Maybe I do that. I don't know. We'll see. You'll find out next week. So this was the vlog. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you read in the last week, and if you've read any of these books, let me know what you thought of them. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you feel like this is a place you want to hang out more, then there's also a button for that. And I will just see you again in another video later. Bye.